Hello there, the YouTube viewers. I've just sat down. I made an order. I'm about to put a tweet out to Twitter. Just bear with me for a moment. Sent out my tweet. That is done. So this is the restaurant I'm staying in. It's semi full. Sorry about the closeness there. I'm about to pour myself a beer, my Stein, and yes, we're going to have lamb tonight. I don't think I have had lamb that often since I've been in Vietnam. I've had beef and I've had chicken and I've had pork, but tonight I'm having lamb. And capsaicin is one of the spices in Kadai. So I've had a lot of chicken Kadai, and tonight I'm going with a lamb Kadai and a couple of chicken samosas. So I spent the entire afternoon, because it was a rain day, I opted not to go out to the Imperial Palace where I've been. I was there and I live streamed it in 2020 on a beautiful sunny day. And I think Jesse came into that particular broadcast and a few other my regulars. Cheers to you, by the way. And so the fact that I have chicken samosas, thank you so much. So we have dipping sauces. I'm gonna think maybe it's for my chicken samosas. Let's give it a try. You want to have a look? Well, there's the chicken samosas. There are my dipping sauces. And hopefully my phone won't fall over like it's done. I'm gonna go for the green first. So, if my taste buds are correct, samosas have a cumin, like cumin is the dominant flavor in samosas. And it's hot. So, I believe there's potato as well as chicken in there. And it's spicy because I asked for spicy. Luckily, I was given spicy. So, yes, I was in with a very desperate range of people. Not desperate, but disparate, wide-ranging points of view, sometimes some misunderstandings, and then sometimes some forgiveness about misunderstandings. So there was quite an arc that went on in Twitter Spaces. And we ranged from Kazakhstan to here, Vietnam, to parts of the United States. So it was a meaningful discussion in a meaningful way to spend one's rainy day. Herbert, how are you? I'm having a chicken samosa. Oh, there was a little bit of a peanut in there. Quite a surprise. I wasn't expecting it, but I love it. Earlier this afternoon, I had Mexican. I had something called Nacho Supreme. So apart from garlic and sour cream and what is called minced tomato and onion and salsa. There was also beef and chicken and bean in very beautifully, corn chip triangles, beautifully arranged. And it was my comfort food for a rainy day. It hit the spot. Plus, I had something called a chicken barbecue club sandwich. So it was minus any egg or anything. It was just chicken and tomato, lettuce, cucumber, and barbecue sauce. How are you doing, by the way? And cheers, and to your health, to your good health. It's good to see you here in my YouTube Live. How is the audio, and how is the video? I like the green sauce. Do you see the steam rising? It means it's hot and spicy. Thank you for letting me know. I gather the amount of time it's taken you to answer my question is roughly almost 30 seconds delay. So I have a feeling there is a YouTube delay with Prism Broadcasting. Not that I'm making a complaint, but we're so used to having the immediacy of what Periscope was, or what Heckle can be. I don't know if you're on Heckle, but Heckle's very fast. But Heckle doesn't have the same amount of reach as YouTube. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a look in here. There were more people before. And across the street, we're in Hue, Vietnam. And I've been served my chicken samosas. Yes, of course. I don't see you typing with all fingers. You're of a different generation. Or thank you. Oh my God, look at the size of the naan. That's garlic naan. And this is my lamb Kadai. And the odors that are wafting up are really good. And I was about to say, maybe you're typing one finger because you live in a country where justice is dispensed by removing, and they've only left you one finger left, so that would mean you've done, what did you do? Maybe it's not funny, but that's kind of like my humor, where my mind jumps to. At least they left you one typing finger, right? So, I'm gonna do a front-facing camera because I want you to see the glistening butter on my tandoori oven garlic naan. Look at the glistening butter on that. And I like the fact that they sprinkled it with some herbs and things. And oh my God, this is lamb. So again, I'm going for what I describe as comfort food on a very rainy and chilly day. It is, and I'm hungry, and I don't have to walk far from here. I think I have room for another beer, even. Just watch me. But I didn't order any rice, at least there's that. Now I just need to arrange my table so that I don't knock my phone over. And I don't want my microphone to drag into my sauces either. Look, I'm making little finger cozies so that my fingers don't get burnt from the handles because it's hot. So there's my lamb. And I'm gonna put my napkin on my lap because sometimes food drops down by accident. And I'm gonna start. You know, they pre-cut the naan. They cut them in points. Oh, it's really fluffy on the inside, I can tell. So it's perfectly baked. So I am hoping that the lamb, which is probably from Australia, because they don't grow lambs here in Vietnam, they import it from Australia. You know, that or New Zealand. I think New Zealand, it might be more expensive. So I'm going to get myself a delicious lamb cube and put it in my naan. There we go. Oh, it is good. It's not crazily spiced. There is a bit of an after kick which I like, but the initial, it comes off as creamy and then it begins to reveal itself. I think I made a good choice tonight. So, hello Chris. I'm having lamb Kadai. And I think this is one of the most impressive garlic naans that I have ordered in the many Indian restaurants that I've eaten. And I also I've eaten already one chicken samosa and it was delicious. I have another one, but I figured I'd go with the lamb while it's still hot. And you know Herbert, right? I believe Herbert is also part of the droners group. But I don't want to presume, but I believe Herbert is either a droner or he's familiar with the droner gang. So I'm looking at, I need to see the time. Oh, so you're up early. You're up early and you might not actually need to start work for quite some time. So that would mean you're either getting your coffee ready, if you're a coffee drinker. I can't remember if you like coffee or dislike coffee. But a lot of the world wakes up with coffee. About 55 years ago, there was a battle of Hue in the Tet Offensive. I see. Okay. I remember the Tet Offensive, but I didn't know I didn't know that Hue was also involved in it. Okay. Well, a lot of Hue has survived. Like the Imperial Palace is situated here in Hue. Unfortunately, today was a rain day and I couldn't go and visit it. So I decided to stick to comfort food and Twitter Spaces to occupy my time. You know, in the Twitter group for droners, Drone Flyer Nick was showing us his new DJI, which is like a sort of it's a covered aileron or propeller model, and it's used for very complicated maneuvers, and apparently it photographs very well. And I think Nick was saying that he's not even interested in flying his Mini 2 anymore. It's like, okay. Okay. Well, Herbert, are you Australian? I think you might be. Because as far as the droners membership, the Australians outnumber us. And they're all gentlemen of a certain age. I did in 2020, when Periscope was still around here in Vietnam, in 3 different occasions. And I live streamed them, yes. I have a different drone, and I'm flying it occasionally, but I cannot live stream it because I just don't have enough practice with the software and having everything work with everything. But there's still time. There's still hope for me yet. Oh, okay, so, okay, because you pop up sporadically, and I remember now that you are from Florida, but it's been such a while that you've been in my broadcast that I occasionally forget that little detail. And I assume you're one of the Aussie gentlemen of a certain age that also enjoy droning as a hobby. So I'm glad we're able to dispel that idea as no, that's not a factual or true. But yes, so you're living in a very politically charged place in the USA. They are coming after your Social Security. I don't know if you'll live that long, but the point is that the GOP is very, very invested, according to what I'm hearing on the news, that they want to renew Social Security on a yearly basis. You know, some people might not need it, even if they do. So as a voter, I would think that would go against your best interests. And I don't see how the GOP is looking pretty cute there in Florida, but I don't understand the situation on the ground, and I'm not asking you to reveal your politics or get involved in touchy subjects, but I'm concerned for you and all Floridians because of how really charged the situation is and how certain voting blocks can decide for other voting blocks or against their interests. I see. A 5-year basis. Okay. But who's going to vote for that? Is it going to be young people who won't need Social Security until their retirement years? Is it going to be actual retirees who need it month to month to either pay for medication or just quality of life things? I'm a bit confused as to how they can manage to look people in the face and say, vote for us, we're going to take things away from you. It's very bizarre. My lamb is delicious, by the way. So I have no guilt eating Indian in Vietnam, because I've eaten Vietnamese in Vietnam and other fusion type of cuisines all over the place. And I guess some Indian cuisine, I guess I could consider as comfort food. And so when you are hankering for comfort food, listen to that voice that says, I want this. Okay. Hopefully I can eat this without getting messy. The naan is very good. Huh. Did you really? Okay, maybe I misunderstood something from you. I remember I ask you all kinds of questions, Chris. And I'm sure I have asked you, do you like Indian food? And in your Chris way, you might have said, meh. Is that a fact, or did I misinterpret your answer? Because I thought you might have told me that, not so much. I like other cuisines. Maybe it was a different ethnic, like, do you like Greek food, or do you like Thai food, or, because I think I brought you to a Thai restaurant, and if memory is correct, you enjoyed your meal. Maybe because you've always liked Thai food. So, specifically Indian, I thought maybe I might have asked the question. I don't recall saying that. Okay, so I'm glad you clarified that, because it might have been some other cuisine. And then again, you can ask a person something on any given day, and they might say, not today, right? But I do love it. So one can interpret something like that a little bit differently. Anyway, tonight I wanted lamb and I got lamb. So there's that. Yes, it's true. Like this afternoon, I wanted really good nachos. And then it was a struggle. Do I want chicken nachos or do I want beef nachos? And I was leaning towards beef nachos, but I've always loved chicken nachos. And then I saw this below those options was Nacho Supreme. They had both chicken and beef and beans and guacamole and salsa and sour cream. Winner, winner. So that's what I ordered. And it was good. I dropped a spot, but it fell on the napkin. Exactly. I had everything. Missed me. Now watch the ceiling fall on my head as there's an earthquake or something. So I just had 1/3 of my naan, and now I'm going for my second third. And I think I'm measuring my container dish properly. Like, look, this is just 1/3. And you know what? I think I'm gonna have another beer too. So, guess what I have to look forward to when I go back home? I believe I'm gonna have to modify my diet by having steel cut oatmeal for breakfast, like on a regular basis, maybe for the next 4 months, to try to eliminate like abdominal fat that's behind the abdominal wall. And you need a particular type of diet and something that will help you like absorb nutrients, because you'll be expelling them as well. So you kind of need more vitamins and more nutrients, because I think I'll be taking a medication that will also kind of facilitate like fat loss. And I guess I gotta have to be very disciplined and make very nutritious oatmeal breakfasts. But I really can't complain, because I've been eating anything I want, exactly what I want, and even over so while I'm here. But luckily, it's not like I'm putting on like huge pounds. It's because I already left Canada with like more abdominal weight that is like healthy, and so I wasn't going to like undergo like a rigorous dietary thing before leaving. I figured go do your vacation, eat like you want, and then come back and pay the piper, as it were. No, I've done it before. I like being disciplined with there's a goal in mind. I can put aside any discomfort and saying, well, look, if it means you got to sacrifice, or it's like you're not as happy as you could be. Like, I'll be having my coffee and my teas and other things. Maybe I'll also be having certain types of juices So it's not like I'm going to deprive myself. I want to deprive myself of excess abdominal fat, which is just going to take years off my life and probably play into like, you know, it'll make your, as you age, it'll make you less healthy and less, you know, less happy. So I figure I can do something about it now while there's still time left. So yeah, I'm investing in my future by saying, go for the oatmeal breakfasts and then see what the outcome is 4 months later. So that was a lean cube of lamb. It's cooked in a stew. You know, steel cut oats are very satisfying. They're the most healthy type of oats you can have. And they release like a glycemic, like glycol, or like the sugar that you get from starches in a very controlled way. So you're not hungry after you eat a good satisfying bowl of oatmeal. So it'll sustain you where you can maybe fast all the way through lunch and then maybe just focus on a smart dinner. Yeah, certain type of exercise, like walking, simple walking, incorporate that. And you know, because this spring is coming and I live near a bicycle path, the two can work in concert. Hello, JVL. Welcome to my dinner of lamb, Kadai, and garlic naan. I can show you garlic naan. It's a really nice one. They have a little bit of herbs as well as the garlic. And I've already had one. I hope you don't mind my showing you my food. This is a chicken samosa with potato inside, right? And it's mostly cumin flavored. And this is what's remaining of my lamb Kadai, and the lamb is so lean, it's pleasing me to eat. So this is my comfort food, the second comfort meal I've had of the day. Absolutely. And there's a lot of onion and capus casing or something like that. It's a nums. I don't know what nums means. But the naan is really well made. It's like fluffy on the inside. And of course they put butter or ghee on the outside, so it was glistening. Okie dokie. Look at this cube of lamb. It's gonna disappear soon. And my waiter asks me, how spicy? And I look at him and I say, spicy. Yes, comfort food. It was raining all yesterday and today, on and off. Enough that I really didn't do much here in Hue. Oh, Billy! I had to do it. I'm wearing a t-shirt. How are you doing, Billy? Yes, I'm on the lookout for the kushtard. I'm on the lookout for the kushtard. I'll send out a bat signal when I find one. He does like it spicy. So I was in a Spaces today, and there was discussions about Hindu nationalists and people being burned for eating beef, which I understand is a very sensitive issue in India. And I'm just wondering how much of this is actual news, actual reporting, or if it's sensational thing. Like you could say, well, the other side accuses people of burning the Quran, and therefore a whole village will, dispense their form of justice on somebody who's Hindu who was accused of, I don't know, disrespecting the Prophet, or you know how it goes. Excellent. Rather warm for February, Connecticut this morning. Yeah, I heard that I was with a couple for dinner from. Is Connecticut sort of Long Beach adjacent? Is it Connecticut or New Hampshire? You mean Mo? I see. Thank you, JVL, for just kind of like very simply, without getting into too long, So there's trouble, like other parts of the world. Hopefully, it will pass. And yes, taking advantage of people's ignorance is a dastardly thing. We are pretty close to New Hampshire. Okay, so they might have been from New Hampshire. She was a nurse and he was in, I'm not sure what he was, but they were kind of okay dinner companions. They kept their cards close to their vest, and she was a vegetarian and didn't like what was on the table. So I think she had her version of resting bitch hangry face. Hangry, So they had to kind of hurry up and eat. He had to eat and then find her a restaurant to her liking. So then I had the table to myself. So they were saying, yeah, it was unordinarily warm. They were expecting a cold, crazy, weird winter, but they got like what you're talking about, the temperatures you're talking about. Oh, no, that's not a bad thing. Come on. You get a lot of really good vegetarian choices. I've eaten. Okay, dude, listen carefully. I've been to some vegetarian restaurants in Da Nang. Well, one particular, it's run by a Japanese chef. And there's I had a burger with a really beautiful, small pumpernickel bun. And it tasted like the way that falafel can taste like meat. It's satisfying like a meat. It's a patty, but there's no meat in it, except that all the flavor and all that tummy goodness is there. Tear down the cheek. Yes, it does. Yes, JML. So, the key to vegetarian cuisine is in the preparation. You get some real artists. I was eating something that I could have sworn was feta cheese. With I had real hummus. Hummus is made from chickpea and lemon juice and tahini. And I was hankering for hummus, and there was no other place that was making it like this place. But I had some mock feta cheese. I could have sworn was feta cheese. And it just satisfied all that. And it was all vegetarian, so, be nice. when was the last time you saw the bass guy go live? How is he doing, by the way? Because you know the winters can be somewhat isolating when you're stuck indoors, and around this time of year, you know, February, March, we Canadians start exhibiting what is known as cabin fever, where we might just like explode or just go postal on somebody who triggers us the wrong way. You've been to Malaysia. Spices makes you tear down the cheek. Okay. Well, that's good about Malaysia. Yes, I met a few Malaysians on my travels here, and Indonesians as well. Thank you for letting me know. Oh, you haven't chatted him. Oh no, you have chatted. I've seen him a bit, and then you say haven't. So you couldn't haven't chatted him for a bit or a long time. So that's confusing to me. You could say I haven't chatted with him in a while. JVL, I'm what is called a furniture and object conservator, or another way of saying a restorer, something of intrinsic value that is made out of quality materials that either requires maintenance in order to make it look like ready or boutique ready, or sometimes you'll have something that has a damage to it, and I have the expertise to make proper repairs. And normally my clientele are people who can afford very nice things that require a certain amount of maintenance. And because furniture and objects can range a whole bunch of things, it means my clientele can be quite varied: commercial, institutional, or private. In a nutshell, that's how I earn a living and what pays my light bills at home and my rent and my holidays. I didn't realize that you had, because you have such a great sense of humor. At least you've always had a great sense of humor with me and also with Dave, that one wouldn't know that you have a thing about panic. And yeah, I recently had a bout, because it's very strange to me. Like, it's something I don't know much about, and then it kind of happened to me on these holidays. I had a misstep down some stairs, and I had an actual physical injury to my left quadriceps. Very painful, crumpled to the ground, hit my head, passed out, only knowing I passed out because people woke me up asking me, am I okay? I don't know. But then I broke out in a cold sweat, had difficulty breathing, and I guess I experienced what is known as a panic attack, which I've never really had. And all of this time, people kind of jumped into like what you would call their training and tried to be helpful, and then just tried to assess, like, are you really in a bad way, or are you going to be okay? Can you breathe? Can you take a cab? What can we do for you? And I was just trying to get control of my breathing. Are you still with me? Ah, okay, yes, because you don't want to be that guy, right? You just want to get on with things. But you have this thing that says, no, you're not going anywhere. You're going to have this panic attack, whether you like it or not, because you can't turn it on or off. It'll just come, boo, surprise. And this is like, oh my God, what do I do? You ride it, because It's like a ride that you're on it and you can't stop it. You got to ride it completely through. Okay, so we can commiserate on that level. I've only had that happen to me once, a couple of weeks ago. Do you think I'm ever interested in experiencing that again? Hell fuck no. So if somebody has something that's recurring and you're trying to get, I feel for you. I really do. I wouldn't want that kind of hell. Well, yeah, there are all kinds of techniques and things. Like I had medication to keep the swelling down and other stuff, and I think I tried to kind of diagnose how did I get there. And my only clue is maybe I got dehydrated because the same phenomena happened to the other leg 3.5 weeks later. What's going on? But I didn't hit my head and pass out. I didn't break into a panic attack, but I had a lot of pain and I broke out in a cold sweat. And it was like a recurring, not the fuck again. Yes, the fuck again. And so I've been walking with two legs that have no strength above the knees. So I cannot properly sit down and I cannot properly get up from a chair. I need like you know, like a double bar that the Olympics they do, like stuff. I need to really brace myself in order to, and I gotta watch whenever I'm using steps because I can't trust my legs. I just can't. And of course I'm a couple of weeks away from, you know, getting back home and meeting up with a physiotherapist and looking to see what the fuck is going on with my quadriceps. You take it 3 times a day and you've been for depression for many years now as well. All right, so you're trying to get like a stability, right? Where you can kind of, if you take the medication, you can kind of mitigate, like it can't get worse than a certain thing and you're not going to get surprised. But it could be like this little lurking thing that is like hiding behind a bush that's going to come out and get you when you're not, you know, expecting it or something to that effect. That's how I'm visualizing your reality. So I hope that by talking about it, it helps. Because I know when you open up about stuff that's personal, you know, you don't want to be judged and you don't want to say, well, that's all that's about you, you know, like you're more than just that thing. I know I am, but I have to come to the realization that there's something going on with me and I need to address it. So I'm going to give it a good shot, but I'm not going to let it get in my fucking way. I'm just too headstrong for that. Yeah, I want to function too. So there you go. So thank you for sharing that in this room because it is a safe space. And I hope that you find whatever tools, like, you know, JVL suggested meditation, which again, it's a non-medical and it's a technique that works for some people. For me, I know I have a certain lack of discipline, and meditation has to do with finding a quiet space and getting in touch with your breathing. Not that hard, but you try and do it on a regular basis and stick to it, and that's where it becomes difficult. Yeah, it's not okay to be not okay. Yes, I like getting angry at certain things, hopefully that I can do something about. Or you get a bug spray, be gone, be gone. Bug be gone. Alrighty, I'm starting to feel full, but I'm going to eat every single cube of lamb in my Kadai. So
I underwent a few years of depression from around the year 2000 to 2004, and I didn't seek any help for that. I kind of isolated myself. No, I don't think it's blood clots, but thanks, Herbert. It was, I think it had to do with dehydration. And as I was going down a step, I missed a step. And then my leg went down 2 rungs of steps. And I panicked, like, you know, I clenched my muscle. And that's how I felt it tear. I think it even tore before I even hit that edge of the stair. And from that tearing came an immense amount of pain I've never felt before, and I just crumpled because I couldn't withstand my own the pain, and that's probably where I hit my head. But then afterwards, you know, I went to an emergency room and they took an X-ray and they said your femur's good and your head wasn't cracked. That came back. No, that was a CT scan. I have this huge picture of my skull. I can see my eyeballs, I can see my brain. I've never seen the inside of my whole head before, and now I have something to take home. And I have this big X-ray of my femur. I think it goes all the way to my nether regions, but I'm not sure if you can see anything. Well, I'll have to look a little closer. Just to say, it came back normal. So the point is, I was given medication for the pain and the inflammation, but they've been inflamed. Like, I have a water lump that's just above my knee on that left leg. And when I had a similar incident happen, but just like a little step like this, and then I clenched like the same with the left, and the same pain, and I fell down. It took 4 people to pick me up and bring me to a chair. And luckily it wasn't as bad as the original one, but again, this leg has been not right. They're both weak, just above the knee, and it's all a muscular thing. So I don't think it could be a clot. I think it had to do with dehydration, because I'm in a hot country, and I might not regulate the amount of water that I need to take in, is my best guess. Anyways, I'm going to talk about it with my MD when I get back. And I was actually trying to finish a point with Billy about depression, like the one that I experienced. It's still coming. He's been working on it for a solid year, and he keeps saying, yeah, it's coming, it's coming. He's just one guy, but it should be coming. There are more people on it. I'm on it like 3 or 4 times a day, but yes, it's still, there's a fairly okay community. There was a while there where it felt like certain people would only like go into certain people's broadcasts, and it felt cliquey. But it's kind of like people are being a lot more generous with each other. And some of the idiots that used to go and bother people have kind of gone somewhere else. So it's just mostly the keepers that are there. I know. Well, they're still around, Billy. I have had so many former streamers from 2 years ago from Periscope come and find me again here in Vietnam on my YouTube, because I recently got over 50 subscribers, which gives me better live streaming privileges. And then I use my Twitter to inform them that I'm live on YouTube, and people who I haven't seen and had fun with in over 2 years are come in and they tell me, yes, we love you, we missed you, you know, we're back. But we all want Periscope to return. So the depression that I underwent in the early 2000s, I dealt with it myself because I was too ashamed of succumbing to this kind of feeling. And slowly but surely, I became agoraphobic, meaning I didn't want to go out, and I started I kind of cut loose friends or friendships that weren't necessarily working, and it's like a decision. Whatever was identified as toxic, you know, like you already had something going on, and you don't need anything toxic in your life, so cut it out. You're gone. And basically, I just isolated myself to my work and to functioning, but I just basically stayed indoors and online for about 4 years. And then it took a particular kind of a job project that got me out of my funk, and then I made a few grand, and then I saw something on the internet that said, oh my God, I have to go there. It turned out to be Burma, and I bought a ticket, and I bought 45 days in the winter, which is a good time to leave Canada. And it kind of transformed me, and I got out of my depression funk. But it took 4 years, and I didn't ask for help. I did it on my own terms, but it might have helped if I, got some kind of help along the way, because there's no shame in asking for help. You live and learn. But I haven't had any kind of recurring depression since then, because I think I know how to fix things or how not to give in to things, but maybe I'm lucky, Maybe you'll get lucky too. So, to your good health. But yeah, depression is a bitch. It really is. Oh, you know what I figured out? After I came back from Burma, I realized there's something funny about when I'm in the sunshine, because as a Canadian, you have to lock yourself away for 6 months, no sun. And the bell went off. Fucking vitamin D. When you start staying indoors from October, your vitamin D level drops, and then it stays below a healthy level until you start going outside again in the month of May. That's too long. That's where I figured, duh, you can buy a bottle of vitamin D and get a dose of 3,000 units per day. Keep your vitamin D level all year long. Even if you go out in the sun and you're taking vitamin D, it's no big deal, but you don't need it when you're out in the sun. I'm not having vitamin D, but since 2005, I have taken 3,000 units of vitamin D, and I've never even come close to feeling the winter blues at all. That's my trick. So if you don't take vitamin D, I would recommend that you do. It helps against depression. Yeah, yes, Herbert, it's D3. There's no other vitamin D that you should be taking other than the D3, because it's the one that helps you metabolize. Plus, there's an added bonus about vitamin D. Well, vitamin D is produced in your own bloodstream when sunlight hits the cholesterol molecules in your bloodstream, and it converts it into vitamin D. The other interesting aspect of it is if you're drinking milk or calcium, that vitamin D acts like a hormone, and it allows your body metabolism to replenish your bones of the calcium loss. So by taking vitamin D, you're able to stave off any calcium bone loss. So when older people fall down, they break a hip, they're dead 3 days later. So if you want a surviving chance, just keep taking your vitamin D. You don't go crazy though, because you can kill your kidneys if you go like, there was this guy that was taking 40,000 units a day and he ruined his kidneys. So don't be that guy. 3,000 is a safe amount of dosage. Well, you can have a lot of calcium, but if you don't have enough vitamin D in your metabolism, it's not going to work. Because like women who undergo bone loss, they need the vitamin D in order to be able to metabolize the extra calcium that they're taking in their diet. You need the vitamin D in order to metabolize it. So there you are. Milk alone won't help you, but they do put a little bit of vitamin D in the milk, but it's not enough. You need 3,000. Well, I know I need 3,000 units a day, and I have never felt the depressive inkling since that time, since 2005. I have not missed a day, and I've kept my vitamin D level constant. Not this roller coaster thing that it used to do. Yes, 3,000 units of D3. Does this face look depressed? No. I'm in a sunny country. That was where I figured it out, because when I would go away in the winter time, I wouldn't get the winter blues. But you know, if I didn't go away that winter, it would be like, oh, it's getting dark at like 3:30 in the afternoon, and you just want to curl up in a duvet and hibernate until spring comes. That's not normal. So that's my little medical advice to you, and it doesn't require meditation. Just good old, and vitamin D is it's cheap to buy. You can get it at Costco for hardly anything. Nobody's making a profit on it. Big Pharma doesn't like the idea that people are, you know, having things that make them healthy that they're not able to cash in on. Yeah, suck it, Big Pharma. Suck it big. There we are. My rant is over. So I have another samosa, but I just like the sinuses open up when you have all these spices, and I just want to clear my nasal passages because I can breathe better. And now I can enjoy my samosa. So yes, so thank you for sharing, Billy, about that thing. And it actually was a good thing that you did, because I forgot about the vitamin D connection and my own cheery disposition that has been constant since 2005. And anybody else who's listening. Herbert, do you still drive? Do you still have an active driver's license? And if the answer is yes, how many girlfriends do you have because you could drive them around? I know a few things about Florida. And Jay, thank you for just kind of clearing the air about that situation where it looks like people are being taken advantage of by political forces in India. I just realized that I've got two Budweisers in my fridge. Only via internet. You have a driver's license. Well, look. Thing is that a man with a car, a man of a certain age with a viable car, can certainly ferry people around who cannot drive themselves and who might happen to be widowed, and would be very good company, you know. But okay, if you're only happy with internet friends, then okay. But I know it's advantageous having a driver's license and being a gentleman of a certain age. I used to know a person who was in that situation, and he had several girlfriends. I may be making some ignorant assumptions on your part. I just realized that, so I'm not going to say any more, and I don't need you to explain yourself either. Do you know what? I have this wonderful piece of naan, and I'm going to ask for a little envelope because I don't think I have a plastic bag with me, because I want to bring it with me to my room because I know I'm going to enjoy it later. I pretty well am full and satisfied. And I don't need to order another beer. See, I have the hiccups, but at least I have a few. I'll be fine. So we can people watch the people across the way. You can see they're enjoying themselves at Binda. But that would also be quite a noisy place with all, you know, those people talking all at once, and that would what I describe as cacophony. So I have a tolerance, you know. I can only hang out in a place like that for so long, and then I gotta get out, as opposed to here where there's just, you know, the odd person, and there's me and you know, the people behind me. So I prefer this because it means that we can have a more pleasant conversation. Hindu-Muslims conflict in India, 9 hours to Rama, 1963. Is this a book that analyzes some of the problems that are still true to this day? Because 1963 was decades ago. And it's interesting that you're able to just pull this out like that as reading material for my homework. Because the conflict is apparently still ongoing and is being, you know, exploited. And Jay was talking about the people in the north, especially, were being exploited. Oh, it's a movie, okay. 9 hours to Rama. Thank you. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to screenshot it, and it'll be in my photo archives, and I'll know what it's about. And that way, when I am in a movie watching mood, I can do a search, because I have my ways of finding things on the internet, because that's what it's there for, finding things that are sometimes not easy to find, but if you put in the right keywords on the right particular day, you might get what you want. So I don't know if Billy has gone home, if Jay has also gone, or if Chris has gone, but I gather you're still here, Herbert. And no, you're not in trouble. I assume people only call you Herbert when you're in trouble. Herb is okay with me too. I assumed it was a book, and then I guess the 1963 was when the movie was made. So the book is probably even earlier than 1963. And yeah, it's a complicated place. And that was a part of my discussion about what I was saying to people who did not know about Periscope. What I tell them about, still hanging around. Thank you, Chris, for letting me know. When you're trying to explain Periscope, what was the value of it? One example is such that when you get to know somebody from a particular part of the world, and you say, you know, something happens in the news, and then that person happens to be available, you say, you know, what is it about this thing? And they generally basically give you, like, you know, the facts. And what's nice is that it comes unfiltered. It's not from a news source, it's not from some place that has a particular agenda. And, you know, because you've known this person a fair bit, you can say, I really, you know, I trust what's coming from, and then I feel more informed. That was a bonus that Periscope was able to give us, because we didn't need to rely on, you know, the printed media or official media of what they're saying is actually going on. Oh, Gandhi. Did Gandhi write this? Okay. Thanks for letting me know. You know, the other day, I saw a photograph of Salman Rushdie, you know, because he was attacked on stage not too long ago, like a few months before Christmas. He was hospitalized, he was near death. I think he had a slash to his throat, and he had his eye stabbed, and he went blind in that eye. And this photograph is him wearing an eye patch, and he's with his good eye, he's looking dead into the camera and saying, I'm a survivor, you know, you can't squash me. It's quite a fetching image. And I thought to myself, good on you, Salman Rushdie. Exactly. So yeah. The reason why I'm telling you this, because I was in a Spaces, which is like a Twitter feature for oral, you know, people that can gang up or like come in large numbers and have an audio conversation. And somebody had as their avatar a portrait of Rasputin, you know, who was a crazy man, who really was, in a way, helped turn the populace against the Romanov family, you know, by the bizarre things that he counseled them to do. And in a way, it turned a lot of people against the Romanovs. And of course, there were people that tried to kill Rasputin, and they shot, they drowned, they poisoned, they stabbed. They did everything to try to kill him, man. He was unkillable. I don't know, I understand what his magic was, but hard to get rid of. Like a real determined parasite, you know? So people were getting offended by this particular avatar, and I said, well, why don't you switch it for, yeah, he was a monk and other things. He was a pervert as well, Rasputin. So I said, why don't you switch your avatar to Salman Rushdie's new portrait photo, you know, like sticking it to those that are still trying to get at him. That would have been a more powerful statement. If I had my opinion, that's what I would do. So I am quite fortunate, you know, with my challenged mobility. You know, the fact is that I try not to overextend my legs in walking for too long distances, going up too many stairs, so on and so forth. So fortunately, I did not need to go very far from my hotel this evening to have my marvelous Indian dinner. I think you were a teenager when you saw the movie the night. Well, yes, but really, I don't know if there's anybody that has been shot, poisoned, stabbed, drowned, you know, and managed to survive. I guess they really just never stopped trying. But what a strange story. And what a creepy man. So he had Romanov's wife like wrapped around his finger because their son was an epileptic. And he made the wife believe that he was the only cure to her son. And obviously when you take advantage of vulnerable people, they will overlook all kinds of things if they think you can deliver, which he never did, the charlatan. So yeah, so Herbert and Chris and JVL and it's Billy. I'm going to let you guys go now because I'm starting to, I need to settle the bill and then walk over to my restaurant and lie down. And I have to wake up early to re-edit my luggage situation because I have booked a bus transport to a national park called Phong Nha. And there are some caves nearby which I might be able to book myself an excursion. Alrighty then, yes. So I'm on a bus. I think it's a 4-hour bus ride to Phong Nha tomorrow. So I'm gonna go back to my room, maybe organize some things so that I don't have to pack in a rush. Oh, yeah. Yeah, there were a number of movies of Rasputin that I remember seeing because it's such a good story. You have to revisit it again and again. Like tell me the story of Rasputin again, you know. So yes, but every time he doesn't come out smelling nice. He really betrayed that family in the guise of saying that he was their only hope. And I guess eventually he got his just desserts, but he did a lot of damage before he succumbed to. Oh my God, glazed, yes, it's morning there, glazed donuts. Well, if you're entitled to them and you don't have to pay any price other than the cost of them,
enjoy your, I'll take out the light, enjoy your morning donuts glazed. You see, yeah, I'm not gonna say, but it sounds good. I hope you have, are you just simply honey glazed, or will you go for like a chocolate donut with icing, or like a Boston cream filled, or it all depends on the day. If it's Tuesday, it's Boston cream filled. If it's Wednesday, it could be, you know, something with sprinkles. I see myself, that's how I would order my donuts. And then would I go to Dunkin' Donuts, or would I go to, you know, something a little more upscale? Anyways, like, you know, switch it up a little. Go for an almond croissant or something like that. Anyway, enjoy your breakfast. Chris, have a good day. Billy, deal with that depression. Take it head on. Hopefully you'll get results. Vitamin D, if you haven't tried it, it worked for me. And JVL, thanks again for coming in, saying hi. Always appreciated. And replay viewers, thanks for just sitting here and watching me eat my food and chat with my pals. Bye for now. Thank you, Chris.